Hello, everybody, and welcome to Natural Disasters Foundation Science 201. I'm your teacher, Brother Rossica, and I'm really excited about teaching you this semester. This is my third time teaching this course. This is only my second time teaching in iLearn 3, but already I can tell this is going to be better than the first ride through because that was crazy. So if you're having a hard time with this transition to iLearn 3, I hear you. It's difficult, but hang in there. You can do it. Hopefully, this will help a little bit. I'm going to talk a little bit about me, and then I'll tell you a little bit about Google because we're going to be using Google Docs for some of these assignments. And then I'll tell you a little bit about how to navigate my course in iLearn 3. So, about me. I was a geology major at BYU Idaho. There I am at the top of the Grand Canyon on the south rim. We hiked 6 miles down to this point here and then 6 miles back up. Boy, what a crazy hike that was. But it was a lot of fun. I absolutely love geology. Got my bachelor's at BYU Idaho, my master's in geology from Baylor University. I wrote my thesis on the earthquakes and faults in Oklahoma, which has accelerated so much in the last few years with the number of earthquakes. Kind of pretty interesting. But anyway, a little bit more about me. I was married a little over 6 years ago to this beautiful lady, Natasha. She's from Alaska. I'm from Oregon. We're now living in Washington, and I noticed a few of you also live in Washington, so that's awesome. Um, there we are on our wedding day in front of the Portland, Oregon Temple, the most beautiful temple in the world, but of course I'm not biased. And we have five awesome kids, Aiden and Hannah. Aiden just started kindergarten. Hannah's going to go to preschool, and that is a live baby alligator on top of their heads, which is pretty cool. Then we had twins, Sarah and Jacob. And yeah, that was fun. People always tell us that third kid is the hardest. We wouldn't know because we went straight to four. They're a kick. They're a lot of fun. And then we just had 2 months ago little Lucy Ray, which is she's a little sweetheart. So there's my family. I want to talk a little bit about communication now. Ways I'm going to communicate with you, primarily through iLearn announcements. Anytime I need to communicate with the class as a whole, it will come through iLearn announcements. So please watch for those. I will also communicate with the questions and conversations discussion board. And this is a really great tool. You can jump on the questions and conversations discussion board, see if anybody has already asked a question. If not, ask your question. I'll get a little notification. I'll come in, I'll answer your question, and then anybody else can see it too. And that's really great because then great for me because then I don't have 50 emails flooding my inbox. And great for you because you may find that your question is already answered by somebody else. Oh, and each of you can feel free to use that as well to answer each other. Thirdly, email. If I need to communicate with uh, any group of you that's less than the entire class, we'll use BYU email. And then finally, Google Docs comments. We're going to be using Google Docs. I'll get on to your group presentations and I'll post some comments with suggestions on ways that you can improve or reminders to not to make sure you include a particular bit of information. So that's how I will communicate with you. These four ways. Ways you can communicate with me, well, they're the same thing, except for the iLearn announcements, questions and conversations discussion board, my email, which is rossicab@byui.edu, and through the Google Docs comments. So let's go and talk about Google for a minute, and then we'll jump into iLearn 3. So in Google Docs, I will make a presentation for each group that looks something like this. This is what you'll see when you first get into it. There will be a file name up here. Please do not change that. There will be some title here. You are welcome to change that. Let's see, what's going to happen is I'm going to be using your Gmail addresses. That's why I've asked you to submit to me your Gmail. If you haven't done that, there's a link in the email that I sent you before, and I will post that link again in an announcement very shortly. Actually, you'll probably already see it on the page in the announcement that I posted this video on. But anyway, what I will do is I'll use the share button and I will put your email address in there, your Gmail address. It won't work with your BYUI. I need your Gmail. And then you will get a link with an invitation in your email with an invitation to edit this. Now, just to demonstrate, I have two Gmail addresses. I have my brother.rossica@gmail and I have my brandonrossica@gmail. So I sent one for this to my other email address. And so let's pop in there so you can see what you will see. Okay, so here's my other Gmail address. I have this little email right here. Brother Rossica has invited you to edit the following presentation. Let's open that up. Yep, right there. Has invited you to edit the following presentation. You'll click this button, Open in Slides, and then it will open the same thing. Now, if for some reason you delete the email or you can't find it or whatever, if you click on this little checkerboard thing, click on Drive, it will bring you to your Google Drive, which is, in case you're not familiar with Google, is a free service that's attached to your Gmail account. Anything Google comes with one account. So we'll open your Google Drive, and then you just need to click on this little button right here, Shared with Me. And it will open up any Google Doc that has been shared with you, and you'll be able to find in the list of documents here the presentation that I shared with you, and you can see mine right there. So then you can get on to the presentation. You can edit it. You can do whatever you want. You can add slides, add text boxes, add images. You can. It's really cool when you add. You can add an image using the URL. Let me just show you an example here. Let's say you find this really cool image online. Let's say you're searching Google for volcanoes and you come up with this one. You click on View Image here and it'll pop up in another tab. You copy that whole URL and you paste it into there and voila, you have your image. So this is really cool because if you find an image online, you don't have to download it and re-upload it and whatever. Other than that, the whole thing works pretty much the same as PowerPoint. So have fun with that. At the very end, when you're ready to turn it in, what you'll need to do is only one person will need to click Download as PDF document. And make sure it's PDF. Then you will upload that to iLearn. And I'll show you where that goes in just a minute. One of the main reasons, there's two main reasons why we're using Google Docs instead of PowerPoint. One is because if you use PowerPoint, then you have to constantly save it, then upload it to an email as an attachment, then email it to everybody else, and then they download it. But maybe somebody else is working on it at the same time, and so you have two different versions floating around. And by the time you're done, you have 50 versions of it floating around. You have no idea which one is the best one. Google Docs takes care of that. You have one version for the whole thing. And you can work on it together at the same time. It's really great for that. You can use this chat button or the comments to talk to each other while you're working. Okay. The other reason is because everything that you do gets saved. And this link here goes to a revision history. I'll show you really quick where you can see who did what and when. And this is really great, especially because if you get accused of not doing your part, then we can go click on this and we can see that you clearly did do your part. Maybe somebody deleted it, or maybe somebody just wasn't paying attention, didn't realize that you really did do your part. So those are the two reasons where we're going to use Google. So let's go to iLearn. Here's the iLearn homepage. Yours might look slightly different because you're going to have different courses. You can click on the course right here. This is the course, FD-SCI 201, Section 19. Or you can click on it up here. Then it brings you to the course homepage. This is where you see the announcements that I'll send you. Then, like I said, I'm going to use announcements a lot. I'm going to use them possibly multiple times a week. So make sure you pay attention to that. If you're ever anywhere else in this course, say you're in the calendar, you're looking at the gradebook, or you just took a quiz or whatever, and you remember, oh, Brother Rossica sent an announcement. What did that say? And you don't know how to get back to the announcements. Just click right up here. Just click on the course, and it will bring right back to the homepage to the announcements. Now, in each of these links, discussion, quizzes, and assignments, it just has a list of all the discussions, quizzes, and assignments for the course. I mostly use the contents link though. So you go to the contents. Um, there's a few things in here that you'll want to take. There's the syllabus, there's a syllabus quiz, there's a plagiarism quiz. Please make sure you take that. Plagiarism is a big deal. I want to make sure that we're all on the same page with what plagiarism is and that you agree to abide by the standards and not practice in plagiarism. There's an iLearn 3 tour. Recommended if you are unfamiliar with iLearn, but not required. Projects and presentations, there's some descriptions there. Don't worry about that. It'll be a few weeks before we get into that. And then all of our lessons. Okay, so I'm going to talk about a couple of kind of weird quirks. I honestly don't know if this is specific to this course or other courses because this is the only course that I teach. But when you go in there, let's just look at this earthquakes for a moment. Okay, in earthquakes, there's a little overview for the week. Then there's a link here for readings and reading quizzes. You want to make sure to do these. When you click in there, there's going to be several links. They'll just look like images, and it will download a PDF to your computer where you can do the reading for this week. You'll learn, in this case, about earthquakes. And each of these readings will be not in the case studies weeks, but in the ones that aren't a case studies weeks. Okay, so you'll read about it, and then at the bottom of the page, please do not forget to take the quiz. It's open book, open note, very easy, but it's a lot of points. Do not forget that. Now, for the rest of these, you're going to find that there's something like this. There's guided lab, which you can read about what the guided lab is. But there's guided lab instructions, and then I think this is where you actually download the activity sheet that you're going to do. And then here is where you're going to take the quiz based on your answers in the guided sheet and on the guided lab worksheet, and it's open note. Then down here, you'll see this looks like there's a million things to do, but there's really not. These first two items here are all about the group discussion board. The group discussion board is here. This is just the instructions. Likewise, down here, great date. You can read about what that is. Here's the instructions. Here's where you actually do it. On this one, here's the instructions. Here's where you actually do it. Finally, here's the instructions. Here's where you actually do it. So even though it looks like there's a million things to do, there's only 500,000 things to do. I just want to tell you really quick about the discussion boards. I'm going to be hosting Adobe Connect meetings where we can talk and we can actually use our voices to discuss what's on the discussion boards. And if you actively participate in the Adobe Connect meeting, then you will not be required to do anything in the discussion board itself. I will give you the points for that. Otherwise, you will need to go in here and follow the instructions on the discussion board itself. Last thing I want to talk about is the case studies themselves. So we're going into the earthquake case studies. In the top, there's you'll see down here there's a link to the case study that you'll be doing. This presentation discussion board, this is where you can communicate with just the people in your group. It won't communicate with anyone else, just the people in your group. And so you can have a chit chat about what you're doing in your presentation. This is a great place for you to start. I encourage you to use the comments in the chat in the Google Doc itself, but this is a great way for you to start the week off. Maybe communicating with each other. This is what I want to do. Let's get started. That way everybody's on the same page, and then you can finish up your communications in the Google Docs if you want. But please at least start your communication in here. That way you make sure that everybody gets it, because there'll be a little notification up here. Then here is where you will submit the PDF for your presentation. That's the first place you will submit it. This is so that I can grade it. This is attached to a gradebook item. The other place you must attach it to is in this class discussion board. And this is so that your fellow classmates can read or view your presentation. They can't view it from here, and I can't grade it from here. So you need to post it in both places. And that way, as you're taking the case studies quiz, you can everybody can read your presentation, and you can read everybody else's presentation, and everybody can be prepared to take the quiz. Well, that's pretty much it. There's a lot to cover in there. I'm really excited for this class. Please let me know if you have questions. Please do not hesitate to ask. Use the questions and conversations discussion board, or send me an email. I really want to help you. Thank you.